and welcome to this week's episode of Marbella with him and her. He is
PJ Lopez and she is
Anna Murray.
What episode number are we on?
56.
56.
Pretty cool, huh?
It's very cool.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of a bingo call for that, but I don't think there is one.
56. Shake your... No. I didn't actually say it. I didn't say
See, you're normally telling me off for going a bit too close to the mark.
You would have said the word.
Okay.
That's the difference. Mm-hmm. So last Sunday was Mother's Day. It was a little bit of an emotional pod last week, but I had a couple of messages from people that really responded to us talking about getting through Mother's Day without mothers. I had a message from someone who also lost his mother, who said what we talked about really resonated with him. And I had a message from a friend of mine who still has her mother and said just how she completely understood how it must be a difficult day for me because she knew how close me and my mother were. And yeah, so yeah, it was nice. We can be serious too, can't we?
We can. Very rarely, but we can.
Yes. Last Sunday evening, we went to see Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Joseph's coat annoyed his brothers.
But what makes us mad are the things that Joseph tells us of the dreams he's often had.
I dreamt
no,
that...
that's enough. That's enough.
See, I was going to go all the way then.
Never go all the way.
Okay.
So yeah, Joseph is our favourite musical. Can I tell them the story?
What, the whole of Joseph? I don't think we've got time on the podcast.
No, when we went to see it the same year.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So PJ, even though he's Peter Pan, is actually 12 years older than me, but he
13.
doesn't look it. No, 12.
13.
Well, it's always been 12, unless you've aged another year.
I thought it was 13.
It's always been 12.
Okay.
No.
I'm older than
Don't
her.
age yourself even more. Or are you making me younger?
Yes.
Okay. 12 years older than me. So when we first got together, when you first start dating and you share your likes and dislikes, we both established that our favourite musical was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Joseph...
Okay,
we've done that, haven't we?
So I said, yeah, I went to see Jason Donovan in it in the West End. And he said, yeah, I saw Jason Donovan in it. I said, no way. I said, yeah, I went with my mum and dad for my 12th birthday. And PJ said, oh, lovely. Yeah, I went with a girlfriend. And we were saying, oh, how funny that we both saw Jason Donovan. And then it was like, what year did you go? 1992. Yeah, I went in 1992. So I was there celebrating my 12th birthday with my parents, and PJ was there at the age of 24 with a girlfriend. And we laughed at the hilarity of how inappropriate it would have been for PJ to be there with his girlfriend, looking at me with my parents and thinking, she's a bit of all right, I'm going to marry that girl one day.
Can we move on before we get the police involved in this? Cause...
To be fair, that isn't what happened. We just laughed at the hilarity that that would have been so wrong if it did happen.
Move on. Quickly.
It's a great story.
No, don't ever tell it again.
So I was emotional last Sunday and somehow had completely forgotten that one of the songs in Joseph we actually played at the start of Mum's funeral, One More Angel in Heaven, which sounds like a really sad, beautiful song. But if you know Joseph, you'll know that it's a hilarious song that my mum and dad actually performed on stage once with Mum doing the bit. Really funny. So yes, I'd forgotten that, so more tears ensued during Joseph. But apart from that, it was a great evening. It was brilliant, wasn't it? They do a great musical, the Salon Varietés.
And they made it slightly different to other years. There was a bit of a Trumpism in there as well.
Yeah,
and
it was great.
Very clever, very clever. They didn't change anything away from what it should be, because you mustn't do that when you're doing stuff.
No.
But it was very good, very enjoyable. Different cast to normal, because obviously you've got all these new people coming through the salon now.
Which is great. So there's lots of people we didn't know.
Yeah,
but
great
they were
talent.
Brilliant.
Great talent.
Yeah, the guy who played the Pharaoh is always like an Elvis character. And PJ pointed it out. I hadn't necessarily realised. I think I would have done as it went on. But he was taking on the Trump accent. And he said, I want to make Egypt great again. Which stood for... Make Egypt great again. Mega, which stood mega. It was really clever. So he was sounding a bit like Trump. There were a few spins on it. Really, really well done. So we really enjoyed that. I was really excited this week to be back at body combat class on Tuesday. Oosh. Which is oosh. That's what they do. Oosh. When you punch the air. Oosh. Actually, they don't in this class at all. I've just seen it on the telly. I don't say oosh at all.
I bet you go.
I don't even go ooh. Nobody makes noises. We're just
Silent class.
It's silent. Well, there's music. Maybe the music drowns out the
Yeah,
ooshes.
ooshes.
Yeah, it's a load of women. Women don't oosh.
No.
Men would oosh.
Yes.
Yeah, men. Yeah. Men.
Ich, ni, son, shi.
What's that?
That's 1 to 5 in Japanese.
How do you know that?
From karate.
Okay. Well done. So yeah, body combat class. I haven't done it for over a year, and regular listeners will remember that I had to stop doing body combat class because I went to a friend's birthday party, a 90s party in a nightclub.
Sorry, that was 4. That wasn't actually 5 things.
Okay.
It's 1 to 4.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, but people might realise.
Okay.
But hang on, there's only 4.
So I hurt my knee through dancing on a podium in a nightclub a year ago, and I haven't been able to do body combat since because I went to the doctor and he said I needed to be careful and not do high impact classes.
Can you just sort of take that back, that you weren't a podium dancer, as in you weren't just employed by the place to be a podium dancer?
I wasn't employed. I was doing it for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Although I have been employed as a podium dancer before. Why have you gone quiet? You knew that about me.
I did know that about you, but I thought you only did it like once.
No, I did it 3 seasons in Greece.
3 seasons?
Yeah. 3 They built me a podium. Anyway, I wore clothes, people, but don't panic. There was clothes. It wasn't like a strip club. It was just, a podium dancer. Anyway, moving on. So I'm back at You look really shocked. You totally knew this about me. I'm doing body combat classes again. I loved it. It's the best class ever. You sweat, you red face, you're out of breath, you're punching the air, kicking the air. It's great. I'm really looking forward to doing it again next Tuesday. Woohoo!
Good. And talking of my jogging...
Yeah, how's that been going?
I didn't do any.
You didn't this week, did you?
No, I didn't. It's raining and it's cold and it's wet and I was tired.
Okay, all great excuses. We did the tribute to June Rendle this week for ITS, the International Theatre Studio. Been rehearsing the last few weeks and it went really well. It was at El Trapiche in San Pedro and we all did lots of accents. I was Gleta, who was German. I was Pam Ayres from Dorset. So loads of people commented on all the different accents that everybody did. We shared some lovely anecdotes that June had written in her memoirs. She had lots of celebrity friends over the years, the likes of Eric Morecambe, Charles Dance, Terry Wogan, and I told a story that she'd written about her friendship with Sean Connery, who spent a lot of time in Marbella and had a place here. And she said that Sean Connery and his wife and June and her husband went to the cinema in Puerto Banús because they showed English films twice a week. And they'd had gin and tonics and all having a great time. And then they were laughing hysterically because they were showing a James Bond film because you never knew what film you were going to see. So there was lots of lovely anecdotes like that. It was great. And you did the tech, you did the lights and stuff.
Yeah, well, we hired a technician because you have to, because it's part of the Spanish system. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't allowed to touch anything. But I sat there and said, middle, podium, middle, blackout. Middle, so
you were instructing.
I was instructing him what buttons to press.
Well, you instructed very well because it all went very smoothly.
But a lot easier if I could just do the buttons myself. Well, but that's union rules. I'm not allowed to go behind the system.
Well, it went very well, and we went for drinks afterwards at Havana 65 in San Pedro, which is a great little cocktail bar. We haven't been there for years. We used to go there quite regularly.
Yeah, it's great, and it's quite well linked because it's the daughter of Ian Radford that runs it.
From La Sala. So, yeah, really great place. Fabulous cocktails and really extensive cocktail menu as well. The first one I had was delicious. I had a kind of spicy cinnamon. It had egg in it, which I hadn't realised, but it was gorgeous. That first one was really, really nice.
It was a spicy...
It didn't have tequila.
It didn't have tequila.
It was spicy something or other. Spicy, I can't remember what it was called.
Okay.
But it was really, really nice. It had cinnamon in it. You said it tasted like Christmas.
Yeah, it was too Christmassy for me. That's a great one for Christmas, but it's too Christmassy.
Yeah. And then I had a spicy tequila one, spicy margarita.
But it was a sunrise of some sort.
It
wasn't sunrise. It was a margarita.
Spicy margarita.
Yes.
But I don't like tequila. But I was hoping I'd like this one, and it was a bit too tequila-y.
Yeah.
Whereas yours was nice.
I had a Sevilla Sunrise.
Which again was tequila.
Yeah, but it was gorgeous. It had grapefruit juice, orange syrup. It was amazing.
You couldn't taste a lot of the tequila.
No, really good.
So I feel like we can do tequila as long as we don't taste it too much.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the point. But it was hilarious because Francis Butler was with us, and anybody who's lived in Marbella for a long time or knows Marbella will remember
Finca Basaya
that Francis owned, and he is just hilarious to be around. And he ordered a daiquiri, and it took forever for his drink to arrive.
But he was expecting the Hemingway style daiquiri to come.
Just a normal daiquiri. A lot of us had nearly finished our drinks by the time his arrived, and we'd commented, a few of us had said, is his drink? Yes, no problem. We were like, why is it taking so long? It's a daiquiri, it's quite simple. And then the monster of all desserts arrived. It was piled high with ice. It was like a frozen daiquiri,
which is not what he ordered.
And you should have seen his face. That's not what he was expecting.
Well, if you check out our show reel, you'll see his face.
He was literally eating it with a spoon, going, "This is not."
Well,
what
he
I
sent
wanted.
it back in the end.
In the end, he said, "This is really not what I wanted," and so they rectified it, but it was very amusing. We've had an update this week, which has been quite emotional, on the money so far that we have raised for the India trip. It's over £130,000 thus far. And Emma Sale had an update from the guys in India wanting to let her and us know where the money is going, how it's going to be used, how long it's going to take, which is amazing. She said she's done so many charity events in the UK and it's so hard to get updates, and then there's a change in government and you can't get the grant for things, and she said it's just been overwhelming how they've wanted to update everything. So instead of there being a classroom being built, which is what we were told, they're actually building a whole block and calling it the Sisterhood Block, which is really, really special. So that's been amazing this week. There was an article published in the Euro Weekly News, thanks to Adam Woodward, about me and the trip, which was lovely to see. I interviewed Lisa Goddard this week. That came through the Goa trip because her daughter Sophie I was on the trip with, and Sophie messaged me saying, maybe you'd like to interview my mum. And I said, oh, who's your mum? And she said, Lisa Goddard. And I was like, what? No way.
Well, what was her name on the trip?
So her kind of social media name is Sophie Stardust. And I thought, what a lovely name. I assumed it wasn't her real name and just thought, you know, she's kind of quirky. She has her nails all painted different colours like me. So I thought, you know, just why not? And then when I found out her mum was Lisa Goddard, and I did a bit of research on social media, Lisa Goddard was once married to Alvin Stardust, who is Sophie's dad. So there you go. So it's not her actual name, but she uses it for social media and stuff. And why not? I mean, brilliant link.
And well, talking of interviews, you've done a couple of other great interviews. We didn't mention them last week, but it was a week before, but well worth mention.
Yeah, I interviewed Lamal.
Never ending story.
Yeah, he was lovely. So he's done a cover of Been to the Desert on a Horse with No Name, that song by America, but he's 80'd it up. It's
so if you heard it, if you literally just heard it, you'd literally listen to it and think, that's Kajagoogoo.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like Kajagoogoo.
Really clever. So yeah, give that a listen and download it if you can from Spotify. And not only the same week, but the same show, I interviewed Johnny Ball, father of Zoe Ball, maths TV genius, and he was hilarious.
Oh, he has some great stories to tell.
Brilliant stories. So he just randomly said, oh, I almost did wife swapping with the Duke of Edinburgh.
And then when you work that out, you think, that's the
that's
Queen.
the Queen then. And he said, yeah, I was at an event and and the Duke of Edinburgh, how did it happen? I forgot.
He said that he admired the Duke of Edinburgh's wife, the Queen, because when she was 18...
Oh, yes, yeah, that was it. So he said to the Duke... So Johnny Ball said to the Duke of Edinburgh, I must tell you, when I was younger, I used to fancy your wife, because he said, you know, I admired her for the work that she was doing in the war, and, you know, I saw her on television, she was a mechanic, and I thought, wow, what a woman. And, you know, I thought that was just lovely that he had the courage to say that to the Duke of Edinburgh. And he was known for having a laugh and the jokes and everything, wasn't he, the Duke of Edinburgh? So he said, no problem, why don't we do a swap? And the Duke of Edinburgh grabbed Johnny Ball's wife and walked off with her. Johnny Ball's going, hold on a minute. What? So he tells the story that we almost did wife swapping, which is just a brilliant story. So he was great. Dad and I went to daily brunch today. We went the other day, somewhere different for our Friday brunch, and it was delicious.
Where is daily brunch?
It's like really close to our house, the one that's just over the road.
Oh, is it? It's another Moroccan place, isn't
Moroccan,
it? Yeah.
The food,
right next to La Fria, just round the corner, really.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I know where it is.
Really nice. Dad had smoked salmon and avocado on toast. I had poached egg, avocado on toast with this caramelised onion. Really delicious. Really rate it. So that's another good place in San Pedro for breakfast. There's so many, to be honest. But that was great. We have spent the weekend gardening, pretty much. A middle-aged couple.
We've done a big workout, actually, because it wasn't just little light-hearted gardening. It was full-on up trees, cutting down things.
Bending down, weeding. I'm glad I haven't hurt my back because I kept needing to stand up because, bending over, doing all the weeding.
Well, you're getting on now, aren't you?
All right.
How many bags did we have?
23 bags full of garden waste.
Yeah.
We did 4 trips to the bin. 2 yesterday, 2 today.
So we thinned out all of our palm trees, took out all the dead...
It sounds like we live in a massive estate.
No, but I mean, it's only 2 palm trees, but the amount of things...
Yeah,
so you get obviously dead sort of big palm leaves in there, so we had to take all of those out, and you get dead birds of paradise, which don't look very nice. They're just so pulled all of those, and I've also
they're heavy as well.
No, those ones are light, but it's the live ones that are heavy. But we don't want them on there because they just drip sap everywhere, so the path gets covered in sap. So we pulled all of those out. So you've got daylight between our leaves now. Yeah, you did all the weeding. I cut the grass again because it was already grown within 2 weeks. So, wow, massive amount of work.
Yeah, we're really pleased with ourselves. The place looks great now.
Yes, we're ready for summer.
Yeah.
Barbecues, bring them on.
Woohoo!
All come round for a barbecue.
I don't think you should announce that. We'll get people knocking on the door. That's a bit silly. We went to see Sheila's new place last night, which was really nice. She's moved, so we went to check that out. It was lovely. And I somehow told you that she'd made a 5-bean curry.
Yeah, so I said, what are we eating? Because I thought I could do something to go with it, because I like to take something with us when we go somewhere. And you said, she's doing a 5-bean curry. So I said, I'll make poppadoms. And you said, yeah, great idea. That's what you literally said.
Okay.
So at 6 o'clock, I went downstairs and said, right, I'm going to make poppadoms now. And I made 4 poppadoms. And then after I'd done them, you said, why have you done poppadoms? I said, because we're having a curry. She said, no, we're not. I said, you told me we're having a curry. She said, sorry, I meant we're having a 5-bean chili.
I know,
which is a completely different country.
Yeah.
So I now had 4 poppadoms and I'd made some sauces, Indian dips to go with it. So then I charred some tortillas instead. So charred over an open flame.
They both went down well. We ate them all.
Yeah, we did eat them all.
It was really nice.
Didn't really matter.
It was absolutely fine. Then today, after we did the garden, we thought, right, let's make the most of the sun because it was really exciting. I saw a post on social media this week that Kalima opened on Saturday, which is like the shack, the gin bar. Lots of people have different names for it.
It's got, I think as you just said, everybody has their local name for it.
But it's called Kalima Beach. And it's down on San Pedro beachfront, and it's a lovely place to sit and drink and look at the
very reasonable prices
really
as well.
Reasonable prices. So we planned to get there yesterday, but we were too knackered from doing all
and
the
also
gardening.
I had to watch the football because Crystal Palace were playing Brighton.
Yeah.
And in football terms, that's our local derby because I'm a Crystal Palace supporter. It's a big match, and it was a proper derby. 3 players got sent off. What a game!
It was really exciting. I could hear the frivolities coming from the lounge.
Anyway, I digress.
You digress. So we didn't get to Kalima yesterday. We went there today. after we had lunch at Kalakaua, which was gorgeous. I love it there. It's one of our favourite places, on the beach, feet in the sand, looking at the sea. I had the grilled chipirrones, which are basically baby squid. Absolutely delicious. You had the grilled sardines.
Delicious.
Really, really nice. We had some lovely fish, and then we walked along to Kalima. And before we left the house, it was really warm, and I was wearing shorts and
hardly anything else, to be fair.
and what do you call it, like a crop top kind of thing, so I didn't want to get like a boob tube
off the shoulder.
Yeah, off the shoulder number, because I didn't want to get tan lines, because it was really nice. PJ came downstairs in jeans, a t-shirt and a hoodie. I was like, you're not going to need a hoodie. Have you seen the weather outside? You should be in shorts. So he took his hoodie off. We're walking along the Paseo. All the men are in shorts, and you were a little bit hot in your jeans. And then we got to Kalakaua and the clouds appeared and I got freezing. So I actually put the napkins on my shoulder.
You used napkins as a shawl. And were wishing that I'd brought my hoodie.
Yes.
Which you told me to take off.
I know, I'm sorry.
And some important information here as well. So we went past Amo Beach, which is right next to Alabadero Beach. That is now open. They filled the pool. They've redone the pool. That was open. People there. Mm-hmm. And they also had this, what did they call it?
Happy Island.
Happy Island, that was it. Happy Island. And it was literally almost half price stuff, wasn't it? So cocktails and food. They had a Korean burger, which sounded very interesting. So I want to try that. So that's open, fully open now. Some important news as well about Maya Beach.
Maya Gardens.
Maya Gardens, that's it. So this is what I've heard. So I may not have the full information here, but I believe that the Mosh Group have invested in it and they're making it into a full-on beach club.
Woohoo!
Which will be our proper first beach. I mean, Amo's there, but it's a bit family orientated, so I don't know if that's going to be very different. So San Pedro's really up and coming already.
Yay! We love it. And it's where we live. I was saying on the way to Kalakaua, it was weird passing so many people but not seeing anyone we know, because everywhere was packed. Nuevo Reno, everywhere was absolutely packed. And we were like, God, we haven't seen anyone we know. This is really weird. And then it all changed on the walk back when we left Kalakaua. We were constantly bumping into people.
It took us like half an hour to get to
It took us
like
so
a 10
long
minute
to get
walk.
to Kalima. But anyway, eventually we got to Kalima and then we saw some friends there, so we joined them and had a couple of drinks with them, and it was lovely.
Yes, we basically did sundowners at Kalima Beach.
Yes, nice. Normality has resumed. And we had another experience with Too Good To Go this week.
Our obsession, our new obsession.
We put it on Facebook. So I was really excited to try Bloom. I wanted to get some flowers and it came up $4.99 for a selection of flowers. So I thought, great, get some flowers and take them to Sheila's as we were going to her new place. So I bought it and within 5 minutes, I think, they'd cancelled my order because they obviously didn't have flowers.
Which was a shame.
Yeah, so I tried it the next day. It wasn't available, so I don't know what's happened there. I was trying to get the big box of veg, and Nicola said, oh, there's a real knack to it. There's only 1 or 2 a week, and, she was giving me all the inside information so I could get it. And I couldn't get it to work. It wasn't coming up. So she ordered it for me, because you can gift it for someone. You can pay, and then you can nominate someone to pick it up, which is really kind. So she bought it for $2.99 and then I went to collect it on Saturday. It was epic. 7 lettuces.
It's like just so much veg.
So much stuff. I mean, it was brilliant. We took a couple of lettuces to Sheila. We made a salad for lunch. We made a salad for the evening to take there. You did tomato on toast this
so
morning.
there were some tomatoes and they've gone a bit soft, but it's perfect for this because you want overripe tomatoes for the tomato sauce that you do for toast. So I cut off the sort of bruised bits and then whizzed it up, and it was beautiful. It
was great. So really excited. We've got some mushrooms. We've got all kinds of things. There was a big bunch of stuff. I can't remember what it was called. I haven't got my phone in me because I did put it on Facebook to try and find out what it is. And some people did let me know the name. But don't know whether we're going to have it or not.
No, it's meant to go in a stew, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did they say it's like a weed that you put in stew?
I don't know.
Didn't sound that appetizing.
It doesn't sound that appetizing, no, but maybe we'll give it a go. But anyway, we've definitely inspired more people to have a look at Too Good To Go. Even cousin Barbara in the UK said, oh, thanks, Hanny, you've reminded me I used to use this years ago. So people around the world are now using Too Good To Go.
So Too Good To Go, if you would like to sponsor our podcast, please get in touch.
Absolutely. Couple of articles from the Sur in English. There was a piece about Rafa Nadal's luxury housing plans on the Costa del Sol making progress. I thought initially that was his personal house, but no, it's not. He's teamed up with another company and they are starting work this year on 75 flats and 6 villas. They're in 2 different locations. Some are in coastal Estepona and some are in Nogüeles.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I wonder what that will be called.
Yeah.
Did they have a name for it yet?
I don't think so. They're working with... So initially I thought it was in Sierra Blanca, but that's the name of the constructors or the developers or something.
Okay. Oh, I thought... When I read the article, I thought they were in Sierra Blanca.
No, that's
oh, well,
the
that's
name
exciting.
of the developers.
I wonder if it makes a difference because he's got his name to it.
Probably. The price will be slightly more and the quality should be really good and
Yes, okay, we'll bring you more news on that when we find out.
There was a piece about the Caminito del Rey celebrating 10 years with the start of work on a new bridge, which is going to be the longest of its type in Spain. I love the Caminito del Rey. We've done that a couple of times now.
Yeah, we've done it twice, yep.
I can really recommend it.
We've done it actually 2 different ways around. Literally, the first time we did it, we went from one place to another, and then when the second time we did it from that place backwards.
Yeah.
So we've done it sort of back to front both times.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you haven't done the Caminito del Rey, it's a great thing to do. It's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not dangerous anymore. It used to be. I mean, this has been around for a long time, and when you used to do it, you used to have to strap yourself on and work your way around very slowly because the original platform was very dangerous.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've built a new proper platform above that, so you can look down and see the original platform that used to have to do it.
Yeah.
And you used to think, how did anybody walk across that? It's only about a foot wide.
Yeah, it's not scary, but if you're scared of heights and a little bit of a nervous disposition, it is intense.
But the scenery is amazing, and you go past this sort of railway track and tunnel, and that's where they filmed a famous film.
With Frank Sinatra.
Yes, he died in that, apparently, and it was called Von Ryan's Express.
Well done. You pulled that out the bag.
Yeah, my whizzing brain was going around then while I was trying to think of that. But...
So that's the Caminito del Rey, if you want to look it up. It's a great thing to do. And another thing, just to mention quickly, there was a piece on the top 100 highest grossing companies in Malaga province. I just thought I'd mention a couple. The number 1 and 2 was 2 kind of variations of D Coupe, which I've not heard of, but it's an olive oil company.
Okay.
Number 1 was the people that kind of make it, and then number 2 was like the distribution. So it was all to do with olive oil.
Well, it's one of the biggest industries over here, isn't it?
Yeah, and the prices have gone up massively. Number 3 was Primor, which is one of my favourite shops. It's like the cheapest place to buy all your cosmetics and beauty things. It's fabulous. There's Primors all over Marbella and San Pedro and
You've
all
just
over
reminded
Costa
me
del
of
Sol.
a dream I had.
You had a dream about Primor?
No, I had a dream about buying you your perfume that you like.
Oh, well, I've nearly finished my
Flower
perfume.
Bomb or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I've literally nearly finished.
No, because I had a dream about that the other day.
Well, maybe this dream should come true. I like this dream. And then there was a load of companies I've never heard of, and number 10 was Carrefour, which is interesting considering it's a French company, but it's one of the most profitable companies in Malaga province.
And it's not a cheap supermarket, it's actually premium prices.
But they've bought all the Supercore, haven't they? So that will have...
Well, they didn't buy Supercore, they bought Super Soul.
Oh, Super Soul, okay.
Yeah,
so they've all become... So
and Super Soul wasn't cheap either, because it's quite high prices compared to general supermarkets.
Convenience, that's what it's about. Well, that is us. That is it from us this week. Hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. Have a marvellous week ahead. If you want to get in touch because you'd like to sponsor our podcast, we would love that. Or if you'd like to get in touch just with any comments, positive or negative, please do. Just be kind. You can contact me at Radio Hannah on Instagram, or PJ
at PJ Lopez 1 Marbella.
You need to say it quickly because you sound
PJ Lopez 1 Marbella.
Thank you very much. And it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him.
I'm not a him.
Her.
Thank you.